7 ways you can dramatically improve your way of living. Jeff Bezos life tips. Subscribe to the channel and comment down below saying I subscribe to enter this month's shoutout giveaway. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to MotiveWise. What's the secret to a long, happy and successful life? That seems to be a question we ask ourselves over and over. Amazon CEO Jeff Bezos has shared his thoughts on this topic many times, and he might just be onto something. When you are 80 years old and in a quiet moment of reflection narrating for your only self, the most personal version of your life story, the telling that will be most compact and meaningful will be the series of choices you have made, Bezos said in his 2010 commencement speech at Princeton University. The constant struggle of making choices. In his talk, Bezos recounted the period of time in which he first came up with the idea to start an online bookstore business, which would later become what the entire world now knows as Amazon. At the time, he knew that moving forward with the idea would be a very risky move. Bezos even asked his boss, who he said was brilliant and much admired, for advice. He was told that although it sounded like a very good idea, it would be an even better idea if Bezos didn't already have a job. The perfect choice doesn't exist. The truth in life is that we'll all make choices we end up regretting. It's called failure, and failure can be a good thing because it teaches us how to be better. But as we grow old, our goal should be minimized to the number of failures that led to regret. In the end, we are our choices. Build yourself a great story, he said towards the end of his speech.
As a senior executive, you get paid to make a small number of high-quality decisions.
Learn from your mistakes. Amazon has famously failed more than a few times. To compete with eBay, Bezos once launched its own version of marketplace bidding. It flopped, but it also paved the way for Amazon affiliates, allowing private sellers to use the site, shipping and even storage facilities to sell their own goods. Most recently was the Amazon Fire Phone, which was widely considered a publicity stunt. Without failure, innovation could never be possible. But with innovation comes misunderstanding, as Bezos is known for discussing. He considers it important enough to include in the 14 leadership principles listed on Amazon.com. Leaders look for new ideas from everywhere and are not limited by not invented here. As we do new things, we accept that we may be misunderstood for long periods of time. Learning from failure is easy to preach and harder to practice. Remind yourself of the Amazon story and its many failures when you're struggling with a decision of should I. Stay frugal. Frugality is a near direct opposition to modern big business practices. Bezos has preached and practiced it from the beginning. A now famous picture depicts Bezos sitting behind a desk made out of a door propped up on 2x4s. Amazon was already a publicly traded company at the time. Doors were simply cheaper than traditional desks, and Bezos always had a thing for symbolism. An upgraded version of the desk are still used in the Seattle headquarters today, and the miniature versions are given out as prizes for cost-cutting innovations. Accomplish more with less, Bezos says. Constraints breed resourcefulness, self-sufficiency, and invention. There are no extra points for growing headcount, budget size, or fixed expense. No, you don't necessarily need to go and buy some door desk, but consider where you can cut some unnecessary spending. A short-time perk or comfort could hurt you in the long run. Think big. Amazon was never intended to just be an online bookstore, or even just an online retailer. Books just happened to be the easiest entry in the marketplace at the time, and for Bezos, Amazon was just the beginning. In 2000, he secretly founded Blue Origin, a space exploration company, to fulfill his ultimate dreams of not only exploring deep space, but eventually colonizing other planets as a backup option for Earth. Think about your dreams versus the tools you're using to get there. Don't confuse the two, and don't settle for the easier option. To build a great story, Bezos offered 12 questions and urged everyone to think deeply about them. How will you use your gifts? What choices will you make? Will inertia be your guide, or will you follow your passions? Will you follow dogma, or will you be original? Will you choose a life of ease or a life of service and adventure? Will you wilt under criticism, or will you follow your convictions? Will you bluff it out when you're wrong, or will you apologize? Will you guard your heart against rejection, or will you act when you fell in love? Will you play it safe, or will you be a little bit swashbuckling? When it's tough, will you give up, or will you be relentless? Will you be a cynic, or will you be a builder? Will you be clever at the expense of others, or will you be kind? While these questions don't provide a foolproof recipe for happiness, they can guide us in making choices that will ultimately help us live a life we're proud of. Not all of us will end up reaching the same height of success as Bezos, a self-made billionaire and the richest person in the world, but there's no reason we can't or shouldn't challenge ourselves to build a story worth telling. This brings us to the end of our video. I hope you enjoyed it. Hit like if you did, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out any of our videos in the future. Also watch the 2 videos out on your screen because I'm sure you'll love them. With that, I'll see you in the next video.